Howdy, y'all. Welcome to SWB. We're coming to you from smack dab in the middle of America, the American spirit. Right here, we have it and we discuss it. Stick around because we're going to do Whiskey 101. We're going to talk about quite a few types of whiskey.
Welcome to my party. We're just getting started.
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking around. Mr. Shane, whiskey's confusing because there are so many things under whiskey.
Yeah.
I mean, because whiskey is basically a distilled grain.
It can be as confusing as you want it to be.
Okay.
It can be pretty simple.
Make it simple for me.
I mean, if you like whiskey, you like whiskey. We're gonna talk about bourbons, Tennessee whiskey, flavored stuff or double oaked, things like that, ryes. We're gonna talk about a lot of different things, but if you just like basically drinking whiskey, you don't have to make it complicated.
No, but people get so confused about it because bourbon, being the American spirit, has regulations to it where you have to have 51% corn. It's got to be over 50% corn. It has to be in a new charred oak barrel. It has to be distilled and aged in America.
2 years minimum.
No, 2 years is for straight bourbon. You could literally age it for a day, I think, and consider it a bourbon.
Really?
Yeah, but to be a straight bourbon, I think it's 2 years. And then you get into bottled and bond.
4 years.
4 years, bottled at 100 proof in a licensed government building. So, like, the government got involved back in the day and made Bottled and Bond Act so that people quit screwing around with whiskey and made sure that people were getting good quality whiskey.
Yeah, they regulated it just a little bit for that end of whiskey. Yeah.
Yep. And then you go to where you have flavored, where people can add flavors to, or blended, where you can add color or a little bit of flavoring on minute. I mean, American whiskey covers like all the whiskeys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it doesn't have to be, if it's just American whiskey, it doesn't have to be any particular amount of corn. It can be all wheat.
It has to be at 80 proof. Yeah. I think it can't be distilled over 160. But then you get into light whiskey.
It can't be distilled over 160. It can't be barreled over 125.
I think 125 is bourbon.
Yeah, for bourbon. Okay, yeah.
So just American whiskey, and I've got some cheats right here. It must be produced anywhere within the United States. Distillation
does not have to be made in Kentucky.
With American whiskey cannot be distilled higher than 190. That's freaking throw it in your race car.
Yeah, that's Everclear. Yeah.
But most are distilled
below 160
to retain the flavor. I get that. Bottled minimum 80 proof. There is no legal maximum bottling cap, meaning high proof or cask strength expressions can be bottled at whatever natural proof they emerge from the barrel. And we like the higher proof, the 120s, 140 plus. Mash bill.
Sweet spot.
Mash bills is for American whiskey. We're not talking bourbon, we're talking American whiskey. The broad umbrella category for any alcoholic spirit distilled in the United States from a fermented grain mash, which I think we covered that too real quick.
Yeah, it can be rice, wheat, barley, yeah.
And you covered this. American whiskey can be used in any combination or single portion of grains. So like with bourbon, it has to be 51% corn, right?
It can be all wheat.
American whiskey, all wheat. I mean, there's Bernheim. Bernheim's 100% wheat.
Yeah, Bernheim's probably one of the best all wheat whiskeys
that
I've ever had.
Let's name different whiskeys.
Like, what do you mean?
Like types of whiskey. Light whiskey. I'll just start.
Okay, light whiskey. Well, then you got bourbons.
Okay, you got bourbons. You got rye.
You get into the Tennessee whiskey, which is a bourbon.
Yeah, it's just distilled. Yeah. And I think there's like some charcoal.
It's a filter.
Charcoal mellowing
it's a
makes
charcoal
it a Tennessee
filtering
whiskey.
issue.
Yeah,
but it's the same thing. Rye.
Wheated, not just wheat. And then there's corn that's just straight corn.
Straight corn. Yep. Mm-hmm. When you say wheated, that's still what we're talking about is a bourbon. Being 51% or more corn, but the second highest percentage of grain is a wheat. Yeah,
like they'll replace the rye that's in a typical bourbon mash bill that's mainly corn, then rye, then malted barley. They replace the rye with wheat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you might still have a little bit of rye in it, but not much. The second highest is the wheat in that case. Yeah.
But I guess based on the category, you could have sorghum. Is that a grain?
Yeah,
Is that a grain?
yeah.
I mean, it's just like
Milo, essentially.
Now, is rice a grain?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah,
Because JT Mellick,
Mellick is great.
Yeah,
right,
it's a
rice
wonderful,
whiskey.
wonderful bourbon or whiskey.
Rye whiskey, yeah. Or I mean, rice whiskey.
It would be a whiskey,
Yeah.
a rice whiskey.
Yeah, it's great
it does
stuff.
not taste like
No,
sake.
it doesn't. No, it doesn't taste anything like sake.
I think we covered them
Mm-hmm.
all. Oh, wait, there was one that we don't really think about in America that is still an American whiskey, but we can't call it a certain thing, just like they can't call bourbon over there.
Tequila? No. I mean, I don't know that anybody makes
Single malt,
Single. Oh, okay.
where where it's just malted barley.
We just call it a
American single malt,
American single malt
because we are not allowed
to call it Scotch.
because we're not in Scotland. Just like they can make whiskey like us, but they can't call it a bourbon.
Yeah. Okay.
So there was that one too. Got them written down right here.
You got the cheat codes.
Got the cheat sheet. Blended whiskey. We talked about them. Flavored whiskeys. Okay, so that covers just. See how it gets so.
It can get pretty convoluted.
But really, the difference is where it's made. Is it American whiskey or is it bourbon? Well, does it have 51% corn?
Yeah.
Was it in a new charred oak barrel? Because with these, they can use used barrels, second use, non-charred, flavored. They could take a rum barrel and put it in there. You know what I mean?
So you mentioned light whiskey earlier. Basically, a light whiskey is a bourbon in a barrel for the second time. It can be it's basically a bourbon that's just not in a new charred oak barrel. They put in other barrels that have been sitting and aged with different stuff.
Yeah.
Let them sit there for
14,
14,
15,
17 years.
18. We got some
Yeah.
old ones.
Yeah, we've got a couple of 17 years over here that they're really, really good, but they might look like a 4-year whiskey. They're not super, super dark.
Sure, and they would qualify as a bourbon if it was a new charred oak barrel, because they're usually the ones we like anyways are 99% corn and 1% malted barley.
And they're almost always high proof, aren't they? Light whiskeys are
Typically
140.
they're higher proof. Yes, I mean you can find some that are lower proof, but that's just kind of a weird deal.
Yeah, I don't know why you would. With being a light whiskey, it's not going to be as sharp, so you need the proof. To
120, 130. We're usually with light whiskey you can get in the hazmat, which when you hear
range.
people say hazmat, it's 140, and the reason they call that hazmat, can't fly with it because it can catch on fire. Right? That's hazmat. That's that point where they're flammable. Is 140 proof.
More easily flammable. 80 proof is flammable. Not as flammable.
Can you catch an 80 proof on fire?
Absolutely.
No kidding.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to bring some out here and set
I
up?
think we've got a science project that we come up with.
I guarantee you can catch 80 proof on fire.
I didn't think so.
That used to be how I'd
I wonder if they can just combust with pressure at 140.
Oh, well.
I thought 140 was where it was flammable.
Oh, and it might.
Because I know 151 Bacardi. Remember them days, starting them dudes, flaming Dr. Peppers?
It's probably a different category of flammable, because 100 proof is very flammable. It's back in the day. I knew somebody that used to make some. You pour some out.
I might know them too.
Or in a spoon and light it on fire, and it's just a blue flame. It's a light blue flame.
At 100 proof.
At 100 proof. If you didn't have, if it was outside in the sun, you put your hand over it, you'd burn yourself, and you didn't know there's a fire there, because there's just nothing there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all blue flame.
Well, I'm going to lean to the expert that knows an expert.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, wink, wink.
That might have something going on we shouldn't talk about. Go back to our older videos if you want to find out about that. How about some of your favorite American whiskeys or bourbons? Let's just start with bourbon, 51% corn.
One of my favorite, and I have this bottle, so that's why I picked it. I don't know what actually is the best side to show, probably right there. Stag.
She's about gone. I got to find another Stag.
Yeah, I don't know. Mine's way up to here because I haven't had it that long, and I nurse it because it's hard to. You can't get them around here hardly. I found that one in Colorado.
Yep. So Stag is one of your favorite bourbons. I'll go next. One of my favorite American whiskeys is, and I mean, you could put bourbon and rye and everything in this with this bottle for me, But this American whiskey from Old Carter, yours is what proof? 120 something?
126, I think. Yep, 126.9.
128.6 on this one. Straight American whiskey, so aged more than 2 years. That's how you get that straight on there. That's all that means. And these guys, they get their stuff, they source their stuff. And this one tastes very much like a light whiskey influence on this American whiskey. So I'd say very high corn, but they're not using new oak barrels. They're using something used probably. Okay, how about another good one that you like that is different? Oh man.
And this one kind of catches the realm of two things. It's Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye. So it is bottled right out of the barrel. There's not cutting it with any water. It's in that 130 range, 132.6. So it's again high proof, and it's a rye. So we're catching that Tennessee whiskey, being the Jack Daniel's, and it's a rye. I don't know what the mash bill is. Do they publish that?
I don't know, and they don't do their age on a lot of the Jack Daniels. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't, because their stuff is older.
Yeah, it's great.
They just don't want the labeling issue, and everybody knows. It's like, for instance, Buffalo Trace, just the regular Buffalo Trace, 7 to 9 years old, but they don't age state it, so it's considered under 4 years or under.
Yeah,
But it's 7 to 9 years old. So I don't know. I think it's a labeling issue why they don't age state stuff. So age statement doesn't always play a big role into things. This is our second bottle of this. If this was not a rye and it was just a Jack Daniel's whiskey, it's a bourbon. They just call it.
Yeah. They call it Tennessee whiskey.
They call it Tennessee whiskey.
They want to separate themselves a little bit.
Sure,
So
absolutely.
all the same guidelines, the corn,
Yep.
the new barrels, the age, minimums, all the bottling barrel, the proof off the still, all that's the same. But then they run it through a charcoal mellowing process at the end.
Yeah, like a sweet maple charcoal or something like that. But don't let them fool you. It is a bourbon. This one is a rye, not a bourbon.
And then same rule with the rye versus bourbon. It's got to be at least 51%.
51% rye.
To call it rye, it's got to be 51%.
This is our second bottle from Tom over in Wichita.
Maple syrup bomb when I'm tasting that right.
Speaking of maple syrup bomb, Sap Squatch. It's short barrel, finished in maple barrels and toasted barrels. It's not overly done. That's what I like about this. The very old St. Nick maple finish is just like a liqueur. It's
too sweet.
It's so thick and sweet. Where this one, you still get the bourbon, you still get the punch, but you get that flavor. You want to pour that?
Yeah, I have not had that.
We've done this whole video without a drink so far. You haven't had this, so
Yeah.
what do you want, an ounce?
Oh, if that. Yeah, that's good right there.
Okay.
I don't need much.
So this says short barrel Sap Squatch straight bourbon whiskey finished in maple syrup barrels and toasted barrels, coming in at 102.6 proof.
That's right in there. It's perfect.
It is age statement at 6 years.
Okay, nice.
And they can consider the finishing process of that into the time. So let's say they put a 4-year bourbon for a year into the maple and a year into the toasted, then it becomes a 6-year age statement. I like transparency on bottles of whiskey. It tells you right here, you don't have to guess how long it was finished. It was finished for 6 months total.
Okay, nice.
So this could have been a 6-year whiskey that only went 6 more months in those two barrels.
In finishing, they don't put them in those barrels for very long. A year probably is about the max on a finished whiskey.
And they're saying blended on the mash bill. They tell you where the maple's from, Vermont. Kelvin cooperage barrels, and then sugar maple on the maple barrel. So, and source Kentucky and Indiana. So 2 different whiskeys, probably an MGP and then something from Kentucky. So I love finding stuff that is just very transparent, that gives you information about what's in the bottle. They're not trying to hide anything.
And I was getting ready to say on the finishing, Amberana, that stuff's finished in there for days.
Yeah, doesn't take any time.
If you left whiskey in an Amberana barrel for 6 months, it's just ruined. It would be awful.
What do you think of that nose on that dude? I mean, that doesn't come off like
No,
just...
it doesn't come off as maple. I'd probably get more maple off of that if my nose is right.
Definitely getting oak influence, which is nice when you get
Yeah,
those
there's
blended or flavored things.
There's a spicy oak nose to this.
Very nice.
It seems pretty proofy for 100.
For 102, right? But that might be that toasted coming through, you think?
Well, there was something different there that I've never tasted before.
I would guess it around that proof on the mouth compared to the nose. I might go 105 on it, 107, somewhere in there.
Super grainy, like cereal. Like I just
Like corn, the corn comes through, or what?
something like a combination of corn and something else. It's a sweeter cereal, but you can tell it's very grainy.
I'm gonna say a
I think
maple
the sweetness is coming from the maple side.
maple cornflake. That toast kind of comes through on there too. As far as I'm not a big toasted fan, where what toasted means is they don't really char the barrel heavily.
light
It's just
toast.
lightly toasted barrel. So it came out of a charred barrel and then was put into a toasted barrel, put into a maple barrel, and then blended back together and
You know
bottled.
what? That's why I'm getting that spicy oak.
that
Because
toast.
what happens when they toast something? More tannins.
Yeah.
You get those more oak tannins that come in.
You get a more of a natural wood flavor than a burnt sugary.
See, and I'm all for that level 3 and 4.
Yeah, me
char.
too. I like it too. The deeper, darker, richer they can make it.
That's bringing me back. It's bringing me back to a cereal that I ate as a kid, but I don't know what it is.
Maybe your parents just poured bourbon on your.
No.
They were out of milk.
I do remember with my brothers and sisters that, the old dip your finger in a bottle and put it on their
Yeah,
gums
yeah.
for teething. I'm sure they did it to me too.
Or little hot toddies when you're sick to get you to go to bed. A little.
It almost reminds me of grape nuts, which is wheat.
Okay. Well, and we don't know the mash bill on here. I mean,
Could be.
It could be a wheater.
It says blended, so it could have more wheat in it.
I also think that when you have a toasted barrel, you can get the kind of dustier, wheatier notes off of it as well. That's a good bottle, though.
That's pretty solid.
That Sap Squatch is a cool dude right
What
there.
did that cost?
I want to say it was 85 plus tax.
Okay.
Got that in Texas when I was down there for the wedding. Now, we can't close this out without going to one of our favorite pours. Guys, if you're new to bourbon and you're trying to figure all this out, we still get confused about what's going on. Go, wait a second. This is one you don't have to be confused about. Once you get tired of that 80 proof and get up to that 90 and get to the 100 and you're starting to get into your whiskey journey and you go, I want to try a wheater. This one should not let you down.
If you can find it.
If you can find it. This happens to be a state pick, Weller Antique 107. So they have taken, it's a bourbon, so it's got 51% corn at least. They're very tight about their mash bill.
Yeah,
I think it's much more than that.
They don't disclose any of that.
Yeah, and then they get rid of the rye and they put wheat in and then malted barley. It's a Buffalo Trace Sazerac product. Just something that I'm like Old Carter, Weller, Antique 107 is something I'm always happy to have a pour of.
Yep, I'll never turn it down. Yeah. And that whole Weller lineup, they're all wheaters. And actually, they're all from the same barrel. You could have a full proof of 107 and a
Green Label Reserve.
green label, all from the same barrel in their own bottles. So all they do is add water from the full proof is 114. And they might come out of the barrel at 120, we don't know. Add a little water to 114, add a little more water to 107, add quite a bit more water, bring it down to 90, and that's the lineup right there.
But you also have your single barrels where you get a unique, and it's not blended together, it's a single barrel. And then you have your CYPB.
CYPB, Craft Your Perfect Bourbon.
Full proof. The Craft Your Perfect Bourbon was a deal where Buffalo Trace allowed people like us to go, this is the mash bill we want, this is the mash bill we like. And it was so good, they made a label out of it. It was a normal, everyday, pour, make, label, get out to the people. I've never had
I
one.
was going to say they're super, super hard to find. You got to pay through the nose.
I've never tasted one.
Yeah, I never have either.
I've tasted Rip Van Winkle. I've tasted Pappy. I've never tasted a CYPB or a single barrel.
We need to break into Roy's and Crack that bottle of his open.
He'd kill us. He'd kill us. We're getting back to basics here at SWB, and we're going back to the old, more relaxed style of just sitting here and talking about things and shooting. And we kind of wanted to talk a little bit about the American spirit as far as the national spirit for America, which is bourbon, which is this one. So these two fall under that, the American spirit, the national American spirit. In the 1960s somewhere, they voted as Congress to make bourbon the national spirit of America.
Well, good on them.
Good on them. I'm very patriotic. You might see a flag behind me and go, those stars look kind of weird. Well, that's an old flag. That flag was flown from the early 1900s until the 1950s through World War II. There's 48 stars on that flag.
Really? Huh.
So what two states would be missing if there's only 48?
Hawaii and Alaska?
Hawaii and Alaska. If you ever find a
49
49 star flag, buy it, because
only 1 year of 49.
there was 1 year.
Gotcha, I didn't know that.
There was 1 year before from Alaska to Hawaii. There's a bunch of them because of World War II, but it's hard to find a big cloth flag like this
That's
with 48.
probably not all tattered.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, you can see where areas in this where it got water damage from storage. But man, the American spirit behind me, the American spirit on the table, a buddy over enjoying both of them, and you guys sitting there. Hey, let's get back to basics. We're going to be like the Scots down in Sam's Whiskey Bar drinking the place dry. Thank you guys for joining us at Sam's Whiskey Bar, now known as SWB, the American Spirit. Tell your friends. Thank you for being here. Catch us next time.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top. Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want.